So this is Math 1012 Foundation of Mathematics, and this is a Chapter 4 review on decimal number operations. Now again, decimal number isn't very difficult since you'll likely be using it every day anyway. So the problem is just identifying some of the homework problems, just making sure that we're okay with these guys. So the first problem I see here, 32.42 plus 139 plus 78.8. One thing you just gotta be real careful with is, now I know some of you guys just put in a calculator, and that's cool, right? But if you're gonna do it by hand, you have to recognize that when you add, you have to line them up in the right place. So think about this, right? This is 139.00. That's 78.80. You can always put the 0 as a placeholder before you add those guys. But look, man, I got no problem if you want to just stick it in the calculator. That's cool. Just gotta make sure you type it in correctly, like this, right? And if it looks crazy, then something is wrong. Like you can't be adding these numbers and get like 1,000 or something. So that's the first question. Now let's see. This one is the math isn't difficult. It just look crazy. So let me try this. Now, it says if the sum of 104.8 and 75. What does that mean? So before we go into the other part of the question, the sum means addition. So sum means addition. That means this is equal to, right? This means 104.8 plus 75. Now, the other side of the equation, it says if the sum of this is subtracted from. Now, here's the thing you gotta kind of realize first. If I say subtract, say x, let's just say 1 from 5. That means 5 minus 1. So it's kind of the reverse. If I say, think about it, right? Let's say you got $20 in your wallet, and I say subtract, take away $5 from what you got. That's 20 minus 5. That's what you got. So even though I say subtract $5 first, $5 comes first, right? Your $20 is the one being subtracted. So it would be 5, right? Take away from 20. You have to write 20 first. So in our case, look at this. We have, if the sum of this, right, let me just rewrite this, is subtracted from the sum of 67.82 and 30.6. So first you have to recognize that you can think about this. It's like a parameter. All right, this is the first part. This is the second part. Okay. So it's really this guy here, subtract, right, minus this, the first group of things, because the order is different when I say subtract. So now you have to say parameter 67.82 plus 30.6 close parameter minus open under parameter 104.8 plus 75. I know it's a little bit weird, but it's all right. We'll go ahead and use a calculator. 67.82 plus 30.6. I have 98.42. Let me might as well just go ahead and do the other one. So remember, do the parameters first, right? 104.8 plus 75. I have 179.8. So that would be, let me see. 98.42 subtract let me see, 179.8. Okay, so we're gonna get a negative number. Let me see. I'm just going to use a calculator. So let's see if that will do it. So there you go. It's a little bit weird, right? This one's easy, right? So I wouldn't worry about this one here. So just subtract them, right? Now this one is a mouthful, right? They just want to kind of confuse you with this problem. So let me just kind of tackle this right here one by one. So here's a game. The game is you have to look at, suppose John's checking account has a balance of 567.50. So let me just go ahead and start 567.50, right? That's how much I got from the beginning. This month, he makes deposit. So deposit means you put money in, right? Like when I get paid, that's a deposit. Add 175.35 plus 187.50 plus 350.00 plus 450.15. Okay, very nice. Now you have to write checks. So now you're paying bills. You pay bills, you take money away from your account, right? So then we subtract 100.50, subtract 225.85, subtract 327.00, subtract 150.30 now. And now it's just a matter of getting the information into the calculator. Don't try this by hand, right? That's just too much work. So let me see, 567.5 plus these guys. And then you gotta subtract. So I'll just go ahead and hit enter just to make sure. Hold on a second. Let me see. For some reason, that I hit something wrong here. So you say let me just gotta redo this thing. Yeah, let me just cancel all of this. I don't know what's going on. So that's the frustrating part with calculators. It's easy to type something wrong like that. Okay, now you can subtract 100.5 and then minus 225.85 minus 327 and then minus 150.3. So the answer is that 926.85. There you go. So the next one says she wants to buy a car for $19,000. So she talked to her loan officer and they will loan her $10,500. But she must also pay $360 for a license fee and $1,450 for taxes. So just think about it this way. Let's say you don't want to buy, right? So first, you need to pay $19,000. That is how much the car is worth. But you go talk to your bank, your credit union, and say, hey, look, I'm gonna borrow some money. So they are willing to loan you $10,500. So you subtract $10,500. You don't have to pay that right now. Okay, so you still got to come up with $8,500, right? But you still got to pay the license fee, which is $360, and the $1,450 for taxes. So this is how much you got to pay: $10,310. And these guys pretty much just got to be careful. You'll be fine. Same thing over here. Just Now, what's the parameter? Parameter is simply the sum of all the exterior size. So basically all the length you see here, add them together, and that's the answer. So in your case here, just go ahead and add 4.9 plus 12.3 plus 9.2, and that's that, 26.9. 21.4. Right, that's pretty easy, right? And that's the end of this session, but I would like to go ahead and talk about the others because they are very similar. So might as well just go ahead and get it done in one lecture. Multiplication and division. And again, a lot of you guys are just use calculator. I get that. But let's make sure we understand the questions here. So this guy right here is if a Jeep average 21.4 miles per gallon, how many miles would it need to travel on 22 gallons of gas? So first of all, we have to understand what is miles per gallon. A lot of you guys know, of course. Miles per gallon is the number of miles you can drive on just 1 gallon of gas. So then the problem is, well, you don't have just 1 gallon, you have more than that. How do you find the distance that you can travel? So the distance that you can travel is on whatever gas that you have is always equal to miles per gallon, you know, multiply times the number of gallons that you have left, right? The total number. So in our case, because if one can go 10 miles, and if you got like 5 gallons and you go 50, right? You just got to multiply. So just to make it a little bit easier, I usually do this. D, which is the distance, equals mpg, right? That's multiplication. That's the miles per gallon, right? Times gallons. Right? That's the easiest way. Distance is the mpg times gallons. So in our case, if you average 21.4 and you got 22 gallons, all you gotta do is multiply. So let me go ahead and multiply this. Just like that. And that's 470.8. Done. This is pretty easy, so I'll just go ahead and let you guys do that. All right. So this right here, you don't have to use a calculator because when you multiply by 10, you move your decimal to the right one time. But now you have, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 zeros. When you multiply by this, you just have to move your decimal place to the right 4 times because it gets bigger. So here's how I usually do it. This is the old decimal, right? Move it to the right 4 times. 1, 2, 3. I gotta move it one more time, so I gotta put up a 0. So look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me delete this. And that's that. Division, same thing. Just put in a calculator. Make sure you just go from left to right. Multiplication, division, same thing as before. Now, suppose the total interest will be paid on this mortgage from a home loan of 130,000 is going to be 380,000. What will the payment be each month to pay off both the loan and the interest? So basically, this is don't think too much about it. I know it's kind of weird for those who are homeowners because mortgage is not really calculated like this, right? They're essentially just saying this, right? The total you have to pay is 380,000. That's how much you're gonna pay total. That's mortgage, interest, principal, whatever, added together. That's the lifetime contribution you have to pay into this mortgage. Now you have 25 years to do it. So how much do you have to pay per month? Just think about this, right? If that is the total, you just have to divide by 25 years. But how many months do you have in a year? Well, 12 months. So you have to worry about this, right? 380,000 divided by not 25 years, 25 times 12 is 300. Then you divide by 300 months. So now let's put this in the calculator. I have 1266.66. So 12 So you know, rounding up to 67. You know, when we talk about money per month. So that's how much you would have to roughly pay. So that's pretty standard, I guess. Well, maybe not for $130,000 of a mortgage, because you think you can get a better deal than this. Let's say that's a payment each month. Right? Let me see what's going on. Let me just double check to make sure. What am I saying wrong? Oh, okay. I got tricked by this. So it turns out it's not just the 380,000, but also the home loan. The interest is there. So my bad. So here's the thing. The total you have to pay is 130,000 plus the 380,000, because that's the interest. My fault. So this is the principal, right? The principal plus the interest. I also read the problem a little bit better. So that would have been, let me say, 510,000. So you just got to change that to 510,000. And if you look at a calculator, you should get that 1,700. So my fault. Now let's look at these. This is the same way as before with the multiply by 10 and all that. When you multiply by 10, you move to the right. When you divide by 10, you move your decimal to the left, because it gets smaller. If you ever forget, just use a calculator. So in this case, it would be 2.8693, just like that. And then this one's division. Now, to do this thing, you have to be very careful. The number inside that division sign goes in first. So you gotta write 28.21 divided by 1.1. So that's the answer. Same thing over here. I'm just gonna skip that. Skip. So this one is kind of what we did, but let's just be careful, right? So to buy a car, you can pay $14,000 cash, or put down 4,500, then make 24 monthly payment. So it's either you pay upfront because it's usually cheaper, or you can get a loan, which is usually costs a little bit more money, right? Because of the interest rate, right? It all depends, right? Sometimes you may not get any, you might get 0% interest rate. So let's see, you can either pay $14,000 or $4,500 cash down, right? Down payment. And then 24 payments, so 24 times 591.29 cents. So let's put in the calculator to see what that payment is going to be. It's going to be 24 times 591.29 and then plus 4,500. So of course, you know, how much would you save by paying cash? Well, by paying cash, you would have just paid $14,000. So subtract $14,000, right? And you get 4690.96. So not too bad. Just gotta read the problem. Quotient, same thing, right? Just they want you to round to the 100. So the way I would do it is I would just do 71.7 divided by 7, right? Enter. See all these crazy numbers up here? They just want you to round to the 100th. Means 2 decimal places. That's this, right? And because this is 2, that 4 will stay as a 4. So that's 10.24. And that's that. The sales price of a new refrigerator is $683 and sales tax is 0.10 times. Well, that just means 10%, and we'll talk about percent in the future. But right now, you can just say 683 times 0.10, or 0.1. The answer, for those who are well versed in percentage, 10% of 683 is just 68.3, because you just move the decimal one place to the left. when you multiply by 0.1, that's essentially the same thing as divide by 10. So this is 68.0. Of course, you can put in a calculator. They talk about what's the total amount paid, right? You got to add, right? So that's the tax at 683, 751.3. Of course, you got to pay tax and the original cost. It'd be nice to just pay tax, but that's not how it works. So what about this guy? If a minivan travels 425 miles on 15 gallons, so let's see what's up with this. Again, miles per gallon is a measurement of how many miles you can go on 1 gallon. But how do you find it? It's always the number of miles traveled divided by the number of gallons that you used. So easy way to think about is miles divided by gallons. So in our case, will be 425 miles divided by 15 gallons. And just got to put in the calculator. 425 divided by 15, and that's 28.3. They want you to round to the 10, which means one decimal place. So 28.3. Not too bad, not too bad. Nowadays cars can go at 30, 40, with the hybrids and all that. Now, this is another quotient. Divide by 100 means you got to move the decimal to the left 2 times. So that'll be 0.00893. So let's say it's the same type of problem, like over and over. So that will be the end of 4.2 and 4.3. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in the next lecture.